Hey guys, it's Jay, and you're listening to the Walk With Me podcast. This is episode 22. This is one of our last episodes in this series, and then I'm going to take a break. Many of you know that I am super pregnant. In fact, when you listen to this episode, I should either already be in labor or be on my way to it very soon. My due date is September 21st, and we're having our second baby girl, and I'm super excited. And I wanted to spend the last two episodes really talking to you about what I'm an expert in. And it's taken me a while to be able to claim and say that, but I can truly say when it comes to becoming a life coach and starting a successful business as a life coach and reaching a six-figure plus salary, doing work that you love, this is where my expertise comes to play. And I've been talking to you a lot in this series about the changes I'm making in my own business model and where I feel I'm headed and some of the vulnerability and the behind the scenes of that. But I haven't talked to you a lot about where I'm super grounded, where I know exactly what it takes, and I've been working with women. I'm the founder of Mentor Masterclass, which is an all-in life coach training program for women who want to become life coaches and who want to do this through learning mastery level training techniques, but they don't want to be alone in some boring masculine training structure. They want to have connection within the healing industry and have soulful and successful women surrounding them and really change their lives through this decision. And this is where my expertise really comes to play. So I wanted to talk just really straightforward about what it takes to become a successful life coach today and share some of these practices for you that are in the very beginning stages and mid stages of first making this decision. Is coaching the right business for you? Do you have what it takes to become a successful coach? And what does it take to become a successful coach? What should you be focusing on, and what do you need to know as you're making this shift in your life? And then in the next episode, I want to get even deeper with those of you who may have a little bit of coach training or in my coach training program right now, and talk to you about what it really takes not to just start your coaching business, but to take your coaching business into your main job where you're actually creating time and location freedom. And as an expert in this topic, I've discovered this truth. The first thing you need to feel into is notice the synchronicities in your life right now that are guiding you to pay attention and take action. My experience when I first realized that coaching was even a career option, was something that I could consider doing. It was an exciting time in my life. And so if we're meeting at this time in your life, I'm so excited for you because you're probably experiencing a lot of synchronicity, a lot of signs around you, whether that's like the nonstop ads showing up in your feed ever since you Googled how to become a life coach, or whether that's situations in your life that are challenging you to get out of your comfort zone and make changes. I know it's not easy, but all of these little signs and synchronicities are asking you to respond. And sometimes if we aren't committed to listening to ourselves, we miss out on creating a real life change and waking up to our actual dreams. And by the way, it's pouring rain outside today, and I am waddling like the biggest waddler who's ever waddled. And so I am actually inside today, but if you're walking, thank you for walking with me while you listen. I hope it's a sunny, beautiful day for you. And in this episode, I really hope by the end you have a firm grasp and better relationship, even if you're already in the process of getting some training, that you are feeling confident about this choice in your life and maybe re-inspired to why it's a beautiful choice. I love coaching. I truly believe that if everybody had coach training, we would live in a better world. And when you're waking up to these signs and synchronicities that life coaching may indeed be a powerful path for you and could be your life purpose, it's a really beautiful time. I remember I was going through, life kind of gives you sometimes what I call a smackdown from the universe to get you to wake up and manifest your dreams. And this is definitely what happened to me. Ever since being a little girl, both of my parents were drug addicts, and I always had this feeling of wanting a really good life and always sought tools and techniques and really believed that we should not just choose careers that are for money, but choose careers that would inspire us to have a good life, because I saw that my parents struggled with just the way the world works and their own sensitivities to the world and their own approach to trying to find work to survive. And I learned really quickly that if we're really going to survive and thrive, then we probably need to do work that we love. And this was just like an intuitive response to the world. People always called me an old soul when I was younger. Thought that my dad would always say, I think you're an old soul. I remember I grew up going to meetings with my dad when he was getting clean, Narcotics Anonymous meetings, and reading the readings like Just for Today and hearing the mantras like, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change and the courage to change the things I can and the wisdom to know the difference. And these things stuck out to me as tools for life, and I loved collecting them. And I really learned at a young age that these people sitting in these walls of these rooms trying to better their lives and get clean, who were leaning on these books and resources and each other in community, were creating potential for themselves and taking their lives from rock bottom to restarting over. And I thought, what about someone who's not hit rock bottom, who isn't in the challenge of these mental illnesses and these addictions? What could they do with their life? And you can probably relate to this in some way. Many women who are drawn to coaching, their whole life has somewhat been preparing them for this experience. So looking at the synchronicities of your life and seeing, did you have some sort of interest and wisdom that's always been present in you? Have you always had a curiosity about people and their stories and their potential? Have you always sought after, blazing the trail, taking the path less traveled, doing the thing that was a little more challenging and trying to resource yourself? When you go to the bookstore, do you run over to the personal development section? Have you always journaled and thought deeply and been interested in deep conversations with people? These are the kind of synchronicities and things that lead you to see that coaching is not just a career choice. It could be your purpose in this life. And that's exactly what I felt when I realized it existed. I always thought the only path was to become a therapist. And with all the drama that was present in my family and all the negativity, I did not want to spend my life talking about trauma and hardship and challenge and the past. So while I thought therapy would be a good career choice for me, I never really pursued it because it didn't have that positive element that I was drawn to. And I ultimately pursued, my first career choice was in the arts and theater, because I actually found the positive, high vibrational aspect of art and coaching are a part of theater, because you create these characters, you look deep into their stories, and then you get to create this character and act it out on stage. And oftentimes the storyline is taking this hardship and turning it into triumph through song and dance. And I had the gift and talent of singing and dancing. And so that's what drew me to theater. But getting into that career, once I made it, my first couple Broadway shows and tours, I realized the lifestyle was not exactly what I wanted. I didn't have freedom. I had to do 8 shows a week and I couldn't leave New York City, or I had to be on a tour bus or touring around, and I didn't have time and location freedom. And I learned that when I was doing a show called Broadway Backers performing on 42nd Street and Broadway. I had a big Broadway show that night, and my husband, who was my boyfriend at the time, was traveling to Florida. It was the winter here in New York City. And I couldn't go with him because I had to perform this show over and over again. And I really wanted to be able to take a week off and go lay in the sun and be with my lover. And I couldn't. And I realized, I don't know if that's the kind of life that I want to create for my whole life. Well, my dream of becoming a Broadway actress was coming true. I didn't feel like I had time freedom or location freedom, and definitely not financial freedom. And so then all these synchronicities occurred where my Broadway show ended. I got fired from my job very unjustly as a waitress, and was really kind of hitting this rock bottom place of feeling like I'd worked so hard to get to this point in my life, and there was no certainty or security that I could create. And that's when the idea of becoming a life coach started popping up everywhere around me. And the synchronicities of this time in my life, this invitation coming forward, and really reflecting on the potential of this being my life purpose, really reflecting on not only the career change that life coaching could offer to give me time and location freedom, but also the ability to give back, to really use my gifts and talents, and to do something that would make a difference in the world. And the amazing thing about coaching is that when you start to learn coaching, you start to learn neurolinguistics programming. You learn how our brains work as humans. It's one of the most incredible careers to consider pursuing, because you can't fail. Even if you just went into the official training to become a life coach, but never actually started a coaching business, you would change your life and your success potential dramatically just by what you learn. There's no other career that I can think of like that. Like if you spend all the money and time to become a doctor and then you don't want to become a doctor, you're not necessarily going to transfer those skills into other roles. Let's say if you become a lawyer or you go into construction, With coaching, you're learning about the brain. This can make you a better parent. This makes you learn more about yourself and the world and how people work. This makes you understand how to achieve impossible things. And then not only do you get to learn that for yourself, but then you go out and you get to coach other people and teach them how to do it. So ever since I became a coach, I quickly learned that my passion and uniqueness in coaching is actually teaching the tools and techniques and bringing women together in sisterhood to heal themselves first so that they can move through any blocks and any resistance that's keeping them committed to their goals and changing their life and breaking their patterns. And then really being able to start a successful coaching career. And so ever since I was featured on the front page of the New York Times for having a successful coaching business myself, I was making 6 figures in the first 14 months of starting my coaching business. I've been helping women open the doors to their own unique coaching business and learning how to become a life coach and have a successful career as a coach. And I've always been curious about what makes a woman become the greatest version of herself. What is the difference in a woman who becomes a leader and can run her own business and a woman who lives life a victim to her circumstances? And the difference is commitment and taking action. So if you're feeling right now a sense of drive to become a coach, and you are noticing that this very well may be your purpose and this career could be your lifelong legacy, one of the most positive transitions you can make is from viewing your work as a job to viewing it as a calling and seeing and honing into your purpose. Once you tap into that, the clarity that you feel intrinsically and extrinsically helps you increase your devotion and concentrate your power and the energy of commitment, and you can make anything happen at this stage in your life. And I've always believed the career you choose is vital for a fulfilling and successful life. And when I say successful, I mean by your own terms. And as a little girl, I knew somehow that you have to pay attention and seek your passion. You know, a job is an exchange of energy where you do a task and someone provides money for you in exchange. But a calling is like an organic field of energy that emerges from the deepest aspect of who you are. It's the fulfillment of love in your life. It's why you've been created to be here and to approach your work as a job versus approaching it as a calling makes all the difference in whether or not you dwell in a miraculous universe or you struggle on a day-to-day basis to make things meet. And you have a calling simply because you're alive. You have a calling because you're a child of this universe. And you have a calling because you're on this earth with a divine purpose to rise to the level of your highest creative possibility, expressing all that you are intellectually, emotionally, psychologically, and physically. In order for you to make this universe a more beautiful place, you have to attune to your calling and pursue it and get training and become an expert and assert yourself in that space and give from this place. And as you do this, your entire life becomes a way for you to serve the world. And that's where the portal of an energy exchange opens up. If you're thinking of money only as something that you get in exchange for doing a job, then you'll never be truly abundant or free of limited thought forms surrounding money. We're here to be a part of the laws that rule the world we identify with. If you identify only with the material plane, then you place yourself at the effect of pretty severe economic realities of scarcity and lack. And if you identify with the spiritual plane, you're under no laws but the laws of the universe. So when you start to summon your true calling, this is a way to put yourself in service to the universe and let energy flow through you. And that's where you start opening up to this question of where would the universe have me go? What would it have me do? What would it have me say and to whom? And if life coaching has come into your sphere at this time, your only job is to respond and act. And if you want to become the life coach that's successful, if you want to know for sure if this is your calling, if you want to have a life where you make abundant money doing something that you love, then you really have to get yourself into training. If you're trying to stay in that scarcity mindset of figuring out things for free or just reading books and trying to launch your business, you're going to miss out on the opportunity to truly take advantage of this synchronistic time and use this time to step into your calling fully. So the first thing I would tell anyone who is considering becoming a coach is notice the synchronicities. Pay attention to all the things that are being put in your path, and including if you're on this podcast right now and if we've been connected, move through the resistance and really dig into the training and give yourself the space to get passionate and to enjoy the process and the art of becoming a life coach. And you will start to uncover if this is your life purpose, if this is your calling, and then let that energy fuel you and open you up versus thinking too much about the money aspect. Because the world can give you a job and a job can be taken away. But a true calling puts you in a career zone that cannot be taken away. It reflects your willingness to do what you feel inwardly led to do in order to help heal the world. And then the universe registers your true substance, your true serious, and your true purpose and commitment. And then you'll bring forth worldly wealth. You will bring forth wealth and the right things to support you miraculously in making this possible for yourself. So part of that is right now thinking about a training and getting into a training that fits your lifestyle and that really is going to support you in learning and becoming a coach in the way that you are determined to be. So really creating sustainable success through a coaching business and asking yourself the question, do I have what it takes to be a successful coach and run my own business, starts with devoting yourself to a training. So research the best trainings that are out there for your lifestyle and don't fear the investment. It is worth it to invest in a training program that will teach you to truly be a successful coach. One of the things that people don't know is how exciting coaching is right now. The reason for that is because coaching is a quickly growing industry. You know, the International Coach Federation did a world study back in 2012, and they discovered that coaching was a $2 billion industry. That's billion with a B. And like I mentioned, that's from 2012. The coaching industry has actually kept growing ever since then. So what does a $2 billion plus industry mean for you as someone interested in becoming a coach who gets legit training? It means that most personal coaches are charging between $100 and $300 an hour. And in fact, the average fee for a 1-hour coaching session is $229. And specialized coaches easily charge $500 an hour or more. I'm up to $550 an hour to work with me in a one-on-one coaching session. And sometimes it's into the thousands, depending on the specialty and their client success record. And that's just for one-on-one personal time. The Coaching Federation also found that most coaches offer at least one other product or service along with their one-on-one sessions. Things like group training programs or online programs or leading retreats or masterminds, which means most coaches actually have multiple streams of income in addition to their one-on-one coaching sessions. And another reason why coaching is such an exciting topic right now is because most coaches feel optimistic about coaching and its growth potential, which seems to just be getting started in our world. You know, for example, more and more individuals and businesses and TV shows and media are really starting to see the value of coaching and what coaches know and the lifestyle these careers have created for people and the kind of powerful people who are choosing this profession, and how they're transforming lives, both personally and professionally. In fact, some research also shows that 76% of coaches expect to see growing revenues and a growing client base over the coming years. So what I want you to know is that most coaches feel really positive about their decision to become a coach because they expect to see their business keep growing in the future. And this creates security. And my favorite part, and it's the most inspiring and heartwarming, is the biggest reasons why I'm so proud to work with coaches so closely as I help them create their businesses, is the fact that almost all of the women who enroll in my signature coach training program, Mentor Masterclass, are not just here for the money. But the money is not the biggest reason they're drawn to coaching. Yes, they know the money is important. They know they will make back their investment in the program tenfold. And they know that coaching can provide them with a successful and stable income in life. But really, it's about financial security is something they want for themselves and their families. And the real reason they're drawn to coaching are things that can't be measured in dollars and cents. The real reason is that the women that I work with are feeling the personal power you get from being a coach. It's a sense of time freedom and time flexibility and the power to choose who you work with and what you work on. And while being of service in a very soulful way and doing meaningful work that's driven by heart and intuition. And also, the second thing is that women feel a call to be in their feminine sovereignty, to be the queen of your life. And it really means getting to a point in your life where you feel deeply connected to your brilliance and your softness and your wholeness as a woman. And I've created this self-discovery week. So I want to tell you this now, and then I'm going to go into some detail about coaching certifications and choosing a program and exactly how I teach women to be successful in my life coach training program. And maybe it's the perfect training program for you if you're wanting to get started and respond to this purpose and your synchronicities. And if you're already in it, this will just be a refresher of what we're doing and why I'm so passionate about coaching, and to remind remind you that you're on the right path and that while it's scary to take this leap, you are absolutely doing exactly what you should be doing at this stage in building your coaching business. And if you haven't taken the self-discovery week yet, go to mentormasterclass.com. It's a free 7-day challenge that will teach you actual life coach training and teach you the exact 4-step process that I use to start and grow my coaching business, the exact 4-step process you'll learn in more detail if you join Mentor Masterclass, and the same 4 steps you learn about from the celebrity mentors that teach in the program and how they have created a successful business model. So sign up for the Self-Discovery Week and make sure to go through it and complete it, and you'll really be able to answer the question, how do I become a life coach? Is life coach training for me? And what does it really take to become a life coach? So a lot of people ask me about certification for becoming a life coach. So I do certify my students in Mentor Masterclass. You will receive a certification. But what's interesting about this is there is no nationally recognized certification for becoming a coach. So there are some, Thomas Leonard founded both the ICF, which is it's called the International Coaching Federation, and they have a certification that really is kind of honored in the coaching industry. But just so you know, it's not a nationally recognized certification. So it's the same kind of just Thomas Leonard made up this prescription for becoming a coach, just as I have in my certification made up what I believe is most important for becoming a coach for women specifically. We've been living in a male-dominated patriarchal society, and what I have found is a lot of these programs that are ICF certified take a masculine approach that holds women back from having success in the first year of their coaching. And this is why getting a certification from an official coach, while again you receive one when you graduate Mentor Masterclass, it doesn't really matter, because I find what you really need is to know the skills as an expert and be taught them in a way that you can remember them and embody them. And you need to take action when you're in the passion of your calling before resistance takes you over. This is one of the most beneficial pieces for me the first year in my business, was responding and being committed to really following through. And also what I've learned, because I was trained by a lot of masculine men and trainers, because I didn't find a feminine approach. It didn't exist back 7 years ago. That I found that burnt me out. And it wasn't until I found other successful women coaches and saw how they were actually doing it that I learned that we need a little bit of a different model, a different way of training and becoming. I wanted something more intimate. I wanted to have fun in the process of learning these skills. I don't have the best memory by studying books and hard concepts. I have the best memory by being an experience. And I wanted to meet incredible people during my coach training. And I wanted to be coaching and have an opportunity to get confident about my skills. So I felt like I could go out there and really share those skills and establish myself as an expert. And that's what helped me when I started focusing and recognizing that. That's what got me featured on the front page of the New York Times. And since that article, when men have been coming to me and saying, Jay, can I pick your brain? How did you do this? How did you become successful so quickly in the first year and start making great money and have such great exposure? It's because of the balanced masculine and feminine approach that I took. And when women started coming me asking me these questions, I realized my true purpose was creating a process and a system for women who want to become coaches, because I love teaching the techniques. I love talking about business. I love helping women make that shift from those 9-to-5 jobs or that stay-at-home mom position to feeling a sense of sovereignty and freedom. And, the ICF principles don't really let you do that. They don't let you start your business in the first year. They don't let you train in a way that helps you to remember. They put a lot of focus on the ICF really recognizes that quality coach training, they want you to start your business after a year, and they don't let you create your own model of coaching. And I don't believe in mimicking other people's models. I believe in discovering your uniqueness as a coach. This is why so many ICF schools, their coaches come out with no business, because they can't stand out and create a unique place in the market that's from their unique purpose. And I help women find that unique purpose that helps you reach six figures, stand out in the industry, scale your business, create unique products and services, and time freedom, all by discovering your unique zone of genius through this training. So how I do this is through a 4-step process that I call RSVP. And I call it this because when I first started recognizing that coaching was my purpose and a career that I wanted, there were synchronicities happening all around me, those same ones I'm asking you to notice in your own life. And I knew my only job was to RSVP. It was to say yes. It was to show up. It was to work through the fear of some of those initial financial investments or big life changes, changing friends, pursuing something, challenging myself to really educate myself as a coach and become a master at it. And RSVP was my way of saying, when the universe is inviting you to your calling, you have to say yes and show up. And when synchronicities and things that feel aligned to you and people that feel aligned to you show up on your path, you have to respond. You have to show up. And so what it stands for is the 4-step process I use in my signature program, Mentor Masterclass. So the first step is restore, the R, reflect and restore. And this is where I take women through the first stage of learning and becoming a powerful life coach. And that is, you start off in unconscious incompetence. You start off not really knowing what you don't know about the industry. And so this is the stage where in my program, Mentor Masterclass, I help women walk their talk by learning these techniques and applying to their life first so they can transform. And then the S stands for simplify and share. This is stage 2 of learning, where you're starting to come into conscious incompetence. At this part and stage in the program each month, I'm walking women through seeing now they know what they don't know. And it's a matter of getting in tune with how to take the skills they're practicing in their own life and start coaching. So I give them the opportunity, the platform, the partners, the tools and techniques to learn how to coach and practice it, so they remember and learn how to coach through doing. And they start to embody and master these skills as a coach. And then every month in week 4, we get to the third part of the RSVP model that I use, which is to verify and validate. This is where they're in the learning stage of conscious competence. They're actually starting to practice and know what they didn't know before and put it in with effort and with repetition. And at this stage, I start to teach women about prospecting and getting paying clients as a coach and actually building their business, what it means to build an actual business. And then in stage 4, this is the P, which is power. This is where in this stage of learning, women who I work with reach unconscious competence, where these skills, techniques, training, understanding of their purpose and the industry itself, they are in unconscious competence. It's just happening. They're just showing up and knowing what to do and starting to build a successful business. And we work on the marketing side. In my program, Mentor Masterclass, what you need to learn to become a coach, I've picked 12 themes that I think are so important for you to master and know in order to become a successful coach. And that is the 12 themes we explore in my program, which is goal setting and health coaching. You learn relationship coaching, you learn inner and outer game techniques, you learn massive action techniques, you learn career coaching and coaching entrepreneurs, you learn how to create your own coaching model and discover your unique zone of genius, you learn identity, changing identities, which you will all go through when you're becoming a coach, and accountability coaching. You learn metaphor and archetypal coaching, which is really fun for women to use and such a playful tool. and you learn the keys to motivation. You learn life purpose techniques for discovering your purpose and taking clients through that session. You learn time management and productivity, and you learn power and leadership coaching. And all of these things, my belief is that to become a successful coach, you have to use these techniques and change your life and become that magnetizing person that then is starting to captivate by the own changes you're making in your life. Then you learn how to powerfully deliver these skills, not from personal experience, but as an expert coach. Listen, when you become to train a doctor, when you train to become a doctor, you may learn how to provide heart surgery. It doesn't mean that you have a perfect heart. You might have messy things in your health, but that doesn't stop you from going into surgery and professionally being able to take someone through a successful heart surgery. It's the same with coaching. The coaching is not about having the perfect life and not being a mess yourself. Although when you learn these techniques, it's impossible not to become sovereign and empowered and achieve incredible things, because you know something that most people don't know when you get real training. That's a good training program. But what the mistake that people make when they don't get training as a coach, or when they're thinking that coaching is about giving advice or pulling from your life experience, it's not. Coaching is about having the skills to go into a session with a client, ask them powerful questions, and get them to a place of confidence to take action. You need listening skills. You need conversation skills. You need session skills. You need to understand how to hold space for someone, empowering someone else. And inspiring someone is different than empowering someone. So coaching is not about you and your story. And that's a relief, because once you get trained successfully as a coach, you'll recognize that it doesn't matter what you're going through in your own life. It matters what you understand about the human mind and motivation and all these different levels of our mind, body, soul, of our career, our relationships, our health. You want to learn how to successfully hold someone through this. So I get a lot of students too that went to IIN and were interested in health coaching, and then they get to this point where they don't know how to take clients deeper. They don't know how to hold a client through potential trauma conversations or through deep-rooted identity patterns and challenges. In my program, Mentor Masterclass, and in any good life coach training program, this is what you're learning. You're learning how to successfully become a coach, and a coach is about knowing how to empower someone else to come up with their own answers and take action to heal through their blocks and to make big changes in their life. So I love talking about this because I created Mentor Masterclass to help women really become successful coaches. And I hadn't talked about this enough on the podcast. And because this first level series is coming to an end while I go on maternity leave, I wanted to make sure you know that the Self-Discovery Week exists. We have not been accepting new students this year, and we will be accepting new students with this episode. You can take the Self-Discovery Week, and if you're interested in applying for Mentor Masterclass, you can join me. And if you've been in Mentor Masterclass and you're wondering what next, if you're graduating this year or early in next year, coming to the retreat, I'm going to take women through the next level. And also this year for new students, the retreat is going to be included. The retreat I'm leading is in February 2020. It's called Captivating Feminine Leadership. And you can learn more about it when you apply for Mentor Masterclass. Ladies who are already alumni of Mentor Masterclass, you already know how to access the website, thecaptivateretreat.com. This will be the next level training, and I'll talk more about this in the final episode of what it takes to take your business to six-figure status and have a strong business model as a coach once you've gotten your training. And so I hope this episode has made you feel really optimistic and remind yourself about the importance of having a calling and tuning into that and recognizing that if you're kind to people, if you're compassionate, if you pour your excellence into whatever you're doing, then you're doing the job of love and the job that you were sent here and born to do. And from that will emerge the next form that's needed to host the energies you're bringing forth. That means real tangible ways of doing this will come into action when you respond to the call, when you're given support, when something comes into your path to help you actually take something from an idea or a dream and put it into action, and you're provided the resources and support. You have to respond and show up. You have to say, I'm willing to give my energy to this. That energy could come in your time, that could come from your money, that could come from working through your fear, but get yourself there and show up. So I want everyone listening to this to either really take the self-discovery week if you're not in a coach training program yet. If you're in a coach training program already, consider coming with me to the Captivating Feminine Leadership Retreat. This is my zone of genius. This is my calling. This is my purpose. This is what I have been sent here to do, is to support women intimately through this time in their life and making this transition with grace and ease, and connecting you to the resources and other women and tools that will help make this path much easier than it was for me, not having that kind of support, and which is why I created it and followed the call to make it happen in this world. And it's really about trusting in yourself and trusting the signs and taking action. And like I said, we are, for the first time this year, opening up applications. We will not be starting anyone in 2019, but we will be starting new students in 2020. But you want to apply now and get on the wait list, and you can learn more about that by taking the Self-Discovery Week. Or if you've already in a coach training program, but you want this kind of support, come together with me in person for the retreat. The price for the program, Mentor Masterclass, is going to go up pretty dramatically in 2020 because it's going to include the retreat. And so if you want the lower price with the retreat included, you want to apply now and secure your space before the end of the year. So this is your call to action to check it out. And if it feels aligned and it's like the right program for your lifestyle, I hope to see your application. When you apply, you're going to get a chance to talk with me on the phone and connect intimately. You can ask me any of your questions that you have left around whether this is the right training program for you, about becoming a life coach and building a successful six-figure career. So let's recap. You want to become a life coach? You want to make six figures as a coach? Start with noticing the synchronicities. Pay attention and take action to the invitations that the universe is putting in front of you. Notice if this is your life purpose and your calling, and feel really secure about the success that can come from that. Research the best training for yourself and get into the right trainings and places that connect you with people in the industry, give you resources and tools, and help coach you through this process. And think about the 4-step process that I use in Mentor Masterclass. Learn more about it and apply it to your life. The RSVP of walking your talk, practicing your coaching, getting out there and prospecting and marketing for your business, and getting tools and training from people who know what's relevant and current in the industry and what works, but most importantly, what works for you. And really let this process of self-discovery be fun and enlivening for you. If you do these steps to start, you will become a coach. And in the next episode, I'm going to talk to you about what it takes to become a six-figure coach and stand out in the life coaching world with your unique business model. So take a listen to that final episode when it's live. It comes out every Wednesday. And after maternity leave, I'll be back in the new year with a brand new Walk With Me series. So while this has been so incredible and fun, I've got so many ideas and things we didn't yet get to talk about that we will talk about in the series. So I hope you've been following along. Leave a review and let me know what you've thought about these episodes. And over on the blog and in the show description notes, you'll find a link to Self-Discovery Week that will include all the information about the program and a chance to apply. You'll also find a link, like I said, if you already have life coach training, especially if you've worked with me, you can join me at the retreat this year if it's not sold out by the time you hear this. And I'd love to be able to help you take your coaching business really to deeper levels of success and a launch pad where we can start 2020 off together in person with a strong business model and plan. Thanks for walking beside me. I am so excited to be connecting with you at a time in your life where you are starting to tune into not just how to work and have different jobs, but how to really tune in to how you heal the world and really taking your love and your experience in life and who you are and what you care about and turning that into a calling, and really remembering that while you're being alert to every opportunity that presents itself, put enthusiastic energy and brainstorming and creating new possibilities into effect for yourself. And the spiral effect of what you will create will be incredible, because when you're on that spiritual plane, you have no competitors. There's no competition for your position. You not only have a place in the universe, you have an essential function in the universe. Only you can do the job of being you, and the universe itself is left incomplete without you. And it's not arrogant, but it's humble to realize this as you place yourself in service to the greatest thing there is, the actualization of your own potential. Your highest function is simply to be the person that you're capable of being. And from that effort, the development of your kindness and your positivity and your vulnerability and your availability to life, your calling will emerge. And now that I'm 7 years into this career, I can tell you it is so beautiful to be having this conversation with you, to be able to do this work that I believe in so much, to have a life now where I wake up and get to make audios and hang out with my family and bring another baby into this world in a way where I am in control of my time, I am in control of my finances, and I get to do work that truly lights me up, that I love. So I want you to believe in yourself and to pursue that, and to know that your level of commitment and response to synchronicity, just by saying yes and showing up and working through those fears, is you saying to the universe, yes, thank you, more please. Until next week. Bye.